They've had it in Canada.
Yeah, but not outside. That's what I'm saying. It seems like more of a warmer climate outside venue is what they seem to pick. I mean, last year was at the Levi Stadium, the brand new stadium, the home of the 49ers. The only downfall with that one, I felt, was a lot of the matches were during the daytime. And especially when you had the Undertaker come out, it wasn't that believable to be the Undertaker when it's still daylight outside and you're seeing the Undertaker come out with his mist and fog. And when you think of the Undertaker, you think of darkness, and there was no darkness at Levi Stadium, so that's a little problem there. Your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I don't like the fact that the Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt, that match started out during the day. It's the time constraints that you have. I mean, if you start later in LA, you're starting probably 8:30, 9 o'clock here in the East Coast, and it's just rough. Whereas when I went to WrestleMania 29 and we started at 7, by the time The Undertaker CM Punk came on, it was already dark, and they shut the entire lights out for his entrance. And it was awesome. But
I'm sure.
You were mentioning before the weather. That plays a huge part because we froze at WrestleMania 29.
Yeah.
Because, well, MetLife is right by the water.
Mm-hmm.
And all that air, all that wind, it was freezing in there.
And once a gust of wind goes in there, it just swirls around, and you're getting cold no matter where you're sitting. If you've been to MetLife Stadium. I mean, up top is probably the coldest. I've sat there before, and especially, I mean, you were in April, but even then, it's a little nippy out there.
Where would you put it? If it comes back here again to New York, where would you put it?
I mean, well,
Yankee Stadium? Citi Field?
I could see Citi Field doing something like that. The only problem with Citi Field, not many seats, and parking there, and it's not that great. Plus, what are you going to do when you get there? You've been to Citi Field numerous times. There's not many places to go eat.
They're reviving that, though. They're about to...
They're trying to, but, I mean, you can't have it to next year or 2 years.
No, I mean, obviously, WrestleMania doesn't come to the New York area. It only comes once every 10 years. I was surprised that they went with WrestleMania 29 here and then 30 in New Orleans when it should have actually have been switched. It should have been, they should have gotten 29 and that junk.
You're mad about that. I could see one place in the Philly metro, in the New York metro area. Why don't bring it down to Philly? Lincoln Financial Field. Philly fans are fanatics in wrestling.
Philly fans are nuts.
So why not do that?
Where, though? Lincoln Financial?
You could do it there.
Isn't Citizens Bank Ballpark bigger, though?
I would have to Google that. I'm not 100% on that one. So maybe. I mean, either or. That facility has all the arenas located right then and there, so it's not like you'd have to go jumping one to the other. Then you could have Monday Night Raw, right? I believe it's now, I don't even know what the name of the stadium is called anymore because they changed it so many times where the Flyers and the Sixers play.
Yeah, so, they're always changing.
So you could have Raw the next night there. You can have SmackDown, bring it up to like Atlantic City if you wanted, something like that. And then it'd be a huge WrestleMania weekend. You have NXT if you want to do that as well. I mean, sky's the limit.
Options.
But where would you want to see WrestleMania? Or would you a new place that you would like to see WrestleMania?
I think this year's one is great in Texas. A new place? Well, I'm pretty sure that as soon as LA gets their new football team and gets their new stadium, they're definitely going to get one.
Oh, I believe that 100%. And
they've already done Seattle, Safeco Field. I'm trying to think of places, but some of the famous like ballparks are small.
Yeah.
None of them are like super stadiums like they are now.
But you can still fit people on the grass and all.
They're kind of running out of some places to put it.
One place that would actually be kind of cool to see them perform, which I know probably won't happen, Wrigley Field.
See, I was thinking that. That's why I was talking about the stadiums, but they're too small.
Yeah, but
not going to fit enough
it would
people.
still be cool to see them with the ivory and all that, and just having them come out to expect. And also another one comes to mind is Fenway Park. All these
Park,
older,
Baltimore.
yeah, these older Camden Yards. But somehow
That's the problem with them putting it outside is now you're limiting yourself because not all arenas are open.
No, and you could keep wanting to top the year before attendance record, and after a while, there's not many other stadiums that you can do that to top the attendance. So what are you going to do? Have multiple WrestleManias in Dallas? You're going to have multiple WrestleManias at Levi Stadium? I don't know.
Choices, my friend. Choices. Choices to make. People to break.
Speaking of break, let's take a break.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to wrap up this show, and we got to talk about who just got, I guess, is going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, man. Got a trio is going into the Hall of Fame.
Ooh, do tell.
We will when we come back. This is Ringside Rumble Radio here on the UCR Network, powered by Spreaker.com.
Imagine a world where bullying isn't considered a normal part of childhood.
A world where I'm not afraid to go to school.
To speak out.
To be myself.
A world where I'm not afraid to be caught alone.
Come on, punk.
We have the power to stop the bullying. Speak out.
Speak up.
Educate.
Find out what to look for and how you can make a difference at bullying.org.
Bullying is not kids being kids.
It's not about good homes or bad homes.
It's not a normal part of growing up. I shouldn't be afraid to get on the school bus.
To turn on my computer.
Message. Or walk to my locker. Did you know that a bully will stop his or her behavior in 10 seconds when their peers speak up?
Use your voice.
Hey, leave him alone.
We have the power to stop bullying.
Find out more at bullying.org.
Bullying.org.
Where you're not alone.
Where you're not alone.
Where you're not alone.
Unified Championship Radio.
This is Ringside Rumble Radio here on the UCR Network, powered by Spreaker.com and free on iTunes. If it's free, you should be listening.
If it's free, it's for me.
I like that.
You like that?
I like that. You could also follow us on Facebook. Actually, like us on Facebook, facebook.com/UCR Network. And follow us, Instagram, Twitter, at UCR Network. Give us hashtags RRR and UCR Network, and we'll comment, we'll tweet you back, let us know your thoughts. Eric Poyntz, he talks with us all the time.
He does. Quickly, fans, before we go into the next segment, we're also now on speakpipe.com, where if you want to leave us a voicemail and hear yourself on this podcast, be sure to go on speakpipe.com, click and search, type, of course, UCR Network, and you can leave us a voicemail, and we may just play it on the air.
Yeah, so you posted that on Facebook as well, right?
Yeah, so
All
if
right.
you decide you have a rant you want to tell us, or you don't agree with something we said, or you agree with something we said, then just log on to speakpipe.com. Remember to check out and look for, type in UCR Network, and we should pop up and leave your little voice message and tell us your thoughts on wrestling life.
Hey, man. After The Godfather being introduced as one of the inductees into the Hall of Fame last week, we got some good news of a deserving, I said trio, but there's been more members of this group that's going into the Hall of Fame. And this is right up my alley because in WCW, I was a huge fan of WCW, and I watched these guys wrestle a lot. They made more of a name, though, more down south when they fought the Von Erichs for so long. And I'm talking about the fabulous Freebirds. They are the next inductees into the Hall of Fame. Loganator, your thoughts?
Well, I've always liked Michael P.S. Hayes, so I see this as a big, big news for the Hall of Fame class. Last week we did have The Godfather, and before that, Sting. So this ups the ante a little bit more for this Hall of Fame class, I'd say.
It does. And tag team champions. They also had the 3 triple tag team, I guess, 3-way tag team belts for a while in WCW. But their big feud was with the Von Erichs, as we know, Kerry Von Erich, the Texas Tornado.
Yes.
And down in that little Texas area with wrestling, I never really got to watch that feud, but that's something I will definitely look up if they have it on WWE Network. I will for sure.
You might find it on YouTube too.
I mean, that would be a perfect rivalries. They have the little rivalry series.
Yes.
So that would be a perfect thing to put in. Michael P.S. Hayes, been with NWA, WCW for so long. Then came over to the WWE as, I don't know if you remember his name, Doc Hendricks.
Yes, I do. Doc Hendricks.
He became the announcer, and he cut his hair. It became short. I mean, that was like he retired from then.
And then I also remember when he was the manager for the Hardy Boys for a while. You remember that? In the Attitude Era, he came back and he was managing the Hardy Boys. And then they got into a tidbit, and they said, we don't need you anymore as a manager. And then he kind of was just at a backstage role type of deal.
So Michael P.S. Hayes, Buddy Roberts, Terry Bam Bam Gordy. I remember him tagging up with Dr. Death Steve Williams for a while in WCW, as well as Jimmy Jam Garvin. When I remember the Freebirds, I always remember Michael P.S. Hayes and Jimmy Jam Garvin as a tag team. That's more of my memories of the fabulous Freebirds. But congratulations to them.
Didn't they have an album come out as well?
They did. They have maybe one of the best entrance music themes, and none other than Michael P.S.A. sing it.
Well,
Bad Street USA.
You have to look that up on YouTube. We won't play it for you now, but if you don't know the song, look it up on YouTube. I'm sure it's on there.
Yeah, great song. So congratulations to them. They'll be going into the Hall of Fame with Sting and The Godfather.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think there will be a female candidate in this year's Hall of Fame class? And if so, which one stands out the most to you? When we were talking before the show, I thought of one, and since they are in the Dallas, Texas area, why not put in Jacqueline from the Attitude Era? She was in that little faction of PMS. She won the Women's Championship. She had a feud with Sable.
Storied wrestling career, not only in there, but also in WCW. She was with Harlem Heat as their manager.
So what better person, I think, if you're going to put a female in, why not put Jacqueline in? Unless you could think of somebody else offhand.
The only other female that I could think would possibly go into the Hall of Fame right now is Sable. And that's it.
Because there's one other one, but she's a big no-no in the WWE, so I don't see her.
China, are we talking about
China?
China?
I don't see her anytime soon getting the recognition she kind of deserves. I mean, she's won the Intercontinental title, but that's for another episode.
I mean, she kind of reinvigorated the women's division and made it cool to wrestle again. She was the first. Isn't she the first female to be put in the Royal Rumble match?
I believe yes. Yes. So, and she almost had the number one contendership for the World Heavyweight Championship with that whole feud with Triple H and Stone Cold going into SummerSlam of '99. So, I mean,
speaking of Hall of Fame, how about the Hall of Famer Bret the Hitman Hart? Got a little cancer update on him. It was reported by Jim Ross that he was cancer-free.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that on his Twitter, I'm guessing? Or the Ross report?
I think it was on the Ross report. But he had reported that Bret the Hitman Hart was cancer-free, and we posted that on our Facebook that he was. But then Bret the Hitman Hart comes on Facebook, and he leaves a message for all the fans out there, and I'm just going to read this real quick. It says, I was made aware of the comments Jim Ross made on recent radio interview. I just want to clarify that while the surgery went well and my doctors